Professionalism is a key aspect that we need to uphold in a lot of settings, even as students, especially in academic environments. And that is exactly what I'm going to talk about in this podcast. Hi, I'm Kate, and today I will be discussing how students should behave professionally in different situations by analyzing two scenarios. These scenarios focus on ethics, conformity, teamwork, and conflict management. As students, we often feel peer pressure, conflicts, and responsibilities that challenge our values and decision making. Through this discussion, I will answer the guide questions and explain how professionalism can help students make responsible and ethical choices. Let's proceed to our first scenario. This is about a student named Emma. Emma is studying in a high school where many of her classmates secretly share answers and cheat on assignments. Even though the teacher is strict, the cheating goes unnoticed because it is done subtly. Emma feels pressured to join in so she can fit in with her peers, but at the same time, she wants to maintain her academic integrity. For the first question, what ethical standards should Emma uphold in this situation? Discuss the importance of academic honesty and the impact of cheating on personal integrity and fairness. The ethical standards Emma should uphold are honesty, integrity, fairness, and responsibility. Academic honesty is important because it reflects a student's true knowledge, effort, and character. Cheating may help students get high grades temporarily, but it weakens learning and creates unfair advantages over others who worked honestly. It's just like engineers do when building. A building cannot stand without proper foundation, and cheating on exams, it doesn't help on building a strong foundation at all. As a student, trying to build a building without a proper foundation at all is not helpful, so that's why students shouldn't cheat. Cheating also affects personal integrity because it encourages dishonesty and dependence on shortcuts instead of hard work. If students become comfortable with cheating in school, they may also carry dishonest behavior into their future careers and personal lives. Professionalism means doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Therefore, Emma should value honesty and fairness despite the pressure around her. For the second question, should Emma conform to her peers' cheating practices or refuse to participate? If she chooses to conform, what type of conformity is she engaging in? Explain your reasoning. Of course, I believe that Emma should refuse to participate in cheating, even if she risks losing social acceptance. Maintaining her own integrity is more important than fitting in with classmates who are doing the wrong thing. However, if Emma chooses to conform, the type of conformity she is most likely engaging in is compliance. Compliance happens when a person changes their behavior because of pressure from others, even if they personally disagree with it. Emma would probably cheat not because she believes cheating is correct, but because she wants to avoid conflict or rejection from her peers. Third question. If Emma decides to conform by participating in cheating, is it due to a desire for acceptance, a genuine belief that cheating is justified, or a need to fit into the group's norms? Provide details to support your answer. Personally, I think if Emma participates in cheating, it is most likely because of a desire for acceptance and a need to fit into the group's norms. This connects to compliance that I mentioned in the second question. Emma may fear being isolated or judged by her classmates if she refuses to join them, which is very valid. Since people naturally want to belong in a group, she may feel pressured to follow what others are doing, even if she knows it is wrong. In terms of the types of conformity, it is less likely to be internalization because it means a person generally believes the behavior is morally right. In Emma's case, the scenario clearly shows that she still values academic integrity, so she does not truly believe that cheating is justified. For the fourth question in our first scenario, what conflict management style would be the most appropriate for Emma if she decides to address the issue of cheating with her peers, and why? The most appropriate conflict management style for Emma would be collaborating. Collaboration focuses on respectful communication and finding solutions that benefit everyone. Instead of accusing or fighting with her classmates, Emma can calmly explain why honesty is important and encourage her peers to complete their work fairly. Collaboration allows her to stand by her values while still maintaining respectful relationships with others. Instead of trying to tell them how wrong cheating is, Emma could help her peers study for the exams. This approach to the problem is professional because it promotes understanding, teamwork, and positive change rather than creating more conflict. Now we're gonna move on to the second scenario. This is about Alex. Alex is assigned to a group project where his teammates expect him to take on more work than everyone else. The group values teamwork, but Alex prefers working independently and feels overwhelmed by the extra responsibilities. He must decide whether to conform to the group's expectations or assert his own preferences. The first question is, what ethical standards should Alex consider in this situation? Discuss the importance of fairness and equitable contribution in group work and how balancing personal preference with team expectations impact group dynamics. The ethical standards Alex should consider are fairness, responsibility, respect, accountability, and cooperation. In group works, every member should contribute fairly because teamworks become ineffective when responsibilities are unbalanced. If one person does most of the work while others contribute very little, it can create stress, resentment, and conflict. Furthermore, taking on more work than others often leads to burnout. This is speaking from experience because I have been a victim of group leadership before. I say victim because when people see that you are capable of being a group leader more often than not, they become reliant to you for some reason. I've handled this by doing my part in the group work and letting them handle their parts as well. I've learned to put up boundaries because putting up boundaries means protecting my own peace, protecting my energy as a student because I also have a lot of other things to do. At the same time, balancing personal preferences and team expectation is important. Alex prefers working independently, but group projects require cooperation and communication. Professionalism means respecting both needs of the team and one's own limitations. Therefore, group members should support each other while also dividing the tasks fairly. Should Alex conform to the group's expectations by increasing his contribution, or should he assert his preference for less responsibility? If he chooses to conform, what type of conformity is he demonstrating? Justify your answer. I think Alex should communicate with his group instead of silently accepting all the extra work. While teamwork is important, fairness is also necessary. If Alex chooses to conform by taking on more work, he may be showing compliance or identification. It is compliance if he agrees mainly to avoid conflict or criticism from the group. On the other hand, it is identification if he wants to maintain a positive relationship with his teammates and fit into the group culture. However, he should still express his concerns professionally so the workload can be distributed more equally. I think I've learned about group tasks is that work can be divided evenly if you just communicate properly. So I don't think that asserting his preference is the right phrase. More like talking it out professionally with his teammates is the right word. Third question. If Alex decides to conform by taking on more work, is it because he wants to gain acceptance from his team? He genuinely believes the value of teamwork, or he wants to align with the teammates' norms? Explain your reasoning. I think that if Alex takes on more responsibilities, the reason could depend on his motivation. If he does it mainly to avoid rejection or gain approval from the group, then it is compliance. If he does it because he values teamwork and truly believes helping the group is important, then it is internalization. Another possibility is identification, as I've mentioned, where Alex increases his contribution because he wants to align himself with the team's culture and maintain good relationships with the members. Among these, I think identification is the most likely because the scenario shows that the group highly values teamwork. Alex may feel pressured to adapt to those expectations in order to belong. Last question. What conflict management style would be the most effective for Alex if he chooses to discuss and resolve the workload distribution issue with his team, and why? I think the most effective conflict management style for Alex would be collaborating. Collaboration encourages open communication and problem solving between all members. Alex can respectfully explain that he feels overwhelmed and suggest fair division of tasks. At the same time, he should listen to his teammates' perspective and work together to create a balanced solution. This style is effective because it promotes teamwork, fairness, and mutual respect. Instead of creating arguments or avoiding the issue, collaboration helps strengthen the trust and improve group performance. To sum everything up, both scenarios show that professionalism among students involve honesty, fairness, responsibility, communication, and respect for others. Emma's situation teaches us about the importance of academic integrity and resisting negative peer pressure, while Alex's situation highlights the importance of fairness and communication in teamwork. As students, the values and habits we practice today will influence the kind of professionals we become. By acting ethically and respectfully, we can build trust, maintain healthy relationships, and contribute positively to our school and community. At the end of the day, true professionalism is shown through integrity, respect, and the willingness to do what is right, even when it is difficult. Thank you for listening to my podcast.